Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-401. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-401 is to be kept in an enclosed courtyard at Site. A mural of the landscape of southern France is painted on the walls of the courtyard. Once daily, personnel are to locate at least 10 roots, which will be fed a total of 15 liters of nutritional supplement 401NS4 and to remove any solid waste produced. An EKG is to constantly monitor SCP-401 for any anomalies. Refer to Incident 4011 for details. Female personnel are not to enter the courtyard at any time between March 15th and April 1st under any circumstances. Description: SCP-401 was discovered near the French city of when agents responded to reports of the ground bleeding. When led to the site, investigators found a human mouth embedded in the soil, licking away the remaining blood with a long prehensile tongue. It was not until a week later that agents realized that the mouth was part of a root structure of what at first appeared to be a 40-meter-tall dead eucalyptus tree with branches shaped like multi-jointed human arms. The white color of the trunk, originally suggesting that the tree was dead, was found to be because the bark was made of human bone tissue. It was given SCP status and evacuated from the area to be transported to Site. SCP-401 resembles an ordinary tree in form and function. However, human physiology is substituted for plant biology in the fulfillment of necessary processes. The trunk is supported by multiple vertebral columns woven together by tendons and muscles and coated by a layer of rough bone tissue also held together by flexible tendons. As one goes higher, the trunk will split repeatedly until there is a single vertebral column supporting the rest of the structure. At the base of the trunk are multiple human hearts which pump blood and nutrients through the roots and branches. The roots themselves are esophagi protected by a layer of cartilage reminiscent of the trachea. At the end of each root is a fully formed upper and lower jaw, complete with muscles, lips, and the prehensile tongue first witnessed by agents in the field. The tongue seems to be used as a digging implement and as a snare for food, ranging from burrowing animals to edible fungi and plants. All of these roots are ultimately led to a single stomach. This, along with a fully functional, though unusually long intestinal tract, work to absorb ingested nutrients. Solid waste is eliminated through a sphincteral orifice on the side of the trunk. No roots are found in the area immediately beneath this spot. The branches, as initial observations suggested, are human arms. They extrude themselves from the bony trunk, but have no bark themselves. Some will split at the elbows so that they may have 2 or even 3 forearms. The palms of its hands all face upward, and the tip of each finger has a human eye growing from it. The iris of each eye is hazel. Dissection of the eyes shows that they are all myopic, though they do react to light stimuli as a normal eye would. Though the chemical process is not yet understood, the retinas carry on a form of photosynthesis which transforms carbon dioxide and water into oxygen and glucose. It is generally agreed that the eyes are myopic in order to prevent excessive damage to the retina from direct sunlight. Chemical analysis of the lungs show that there is a higher oxygen content when SCP-401 exhales than when it inhales. During spring, SCP-401 will go into bloom. Though it is genetically a human male, it will grow female sexual organs. The vaginal openings are located on the palms of its hands, with canals extending 18 centimeters along each wrist to a bulge which contains a fully formed uterus and ovaries. 5 days after the formation of the organs, menstruation occurs, at which point male sexual organs begin to develop in their place over a period of 10 days. Once fully formed, they will remain for 1 day before they are shed and eaten by the roots. During this phase, SCP-401 will attack human females for the purpose of reproduction. Experiment Log 401-1. The fact that SCP-401 is genetically human combined with the violence exhibited against women during its male phase, suggests that it may be compatible with human beings. A number of breeding experiments have been proposed to test this. Date: Subject: female D-Class personnel, D-2055. Procedure: D-2055 was artificially inseminated with material produced by SCP-401 during male phase. The product of this was allowed to gestate. Details: 9 months after conception, D-2055 gave birth to a normal human male infant. Though healthy and lacking in any unusual physiology, the child has been found to suffer from severe myopia, comparable to what was estimated with the eyes of SCP-401. The child has been adopted by Agent who has agreed to bring Jr. to a Foundation-approved doctor for monthly physical examinations. Experiment Log 401-2. Date: Subject: male D-Class personnel, D-2067. Procedure: D-2067 was ordered to donate genetic material which was used to artificially inseminate SCP-401 at the beginning of its female phase. This was allowed to gestate. Details: 12 hours after insemination, the uterine bulge in the wrist increased in size by 300%. While the other branches continued to develop normally for the next 2 weeks, the inseminated arm retained its uterine bulge and vaginal canal. 24 hours prior to maturation of male organs, the uterine bulge began contracting until a massive tissue was extracted from the palm. This was thrown over the edge of the courtyard by the arm which had given birth. The appendage was then shed and absorbed by the roots minutes later. After 5 hours of searching, personnel found the item which was thrown, a human urinary bladder with a fetus nestled inside, consistent with one that had been gestating for 2 months. The bladder was planted in soil. It germinated 2 days later and became a seedling, equivalent to SCP-401 in structure. The organism died of malnutrition 1 week later, despite being fed nutritional supplement 401 NS3. Experiment Log 401-3. Date: Subject: female D-Class personnel, 2081. Procedure: an egg was removed from SCP-2081's ovary, fertilized with genetic material harvested from SCP-401, and frozen until next spring. The fertilized egg was implanted into SCP-401 and allowed to gestate. Details: nutritional supplement 401 NS4 has been formulated with this development in mind. Incident 401-1. On several of SCP-401's branches went into convulsions and then went limp. It was soon discovered that one of its hearts suffered from cardiac arrest and was not able to recover. An angiogram of the other hearts showed large amounts of plaque buildup. Since Incident 401-1, the damaged heart has been absorbed and 2 new hearts have grown in its place. In order to maintain the future health of SCP-401, a lower cholesterol nutritional supplement 401 NS3 has been approved, which has been stricken from the document. Nutritional supplement 401 NS4 is now to be used following the results of Experiment 401-3. A pregnant tree. You'd think you'd get used to this kind of shit. But you really don't. You really don't. Anyway, this concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you were all dismissed. Goodbye. I would like to give a special thank you to Susur Hintern, Zarguran, Onyx, Arbiter Soul, The Morrigan, Ritalius, Karim El Ashmoui, The Alpha Walrus, Patrick Bailey, Dreams, Matthew Gilmore, Eric Corbage, Kawaii Firekeeper, Joker Corvus, King Madding, James Saba, and NJ Vojak. If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com /TheVolgun. Thank you.